As we get into the top 4 match, the semifinals of our premier event today, Julian is going to be kicking us off. I don't see mulligans from either of our casters right now. A good, honest start. Although, here we go. A rabbit. Talk about good, honest start.
You guys about to say. Let's see what Julian... Well, we won't see what Julian finds off of it, but I bet it's going to be followed up with a set 1 and pass. That's usually how these go.
There's the one.
And they'll probably be back on Shurit to see what they will put up first to contest this rabbit. Of course, you know, Kinlio's a threat here, but plenty of other options for Shurit to pull into. And I expect this to be a bit of a grindier game, at least to start. Oh, actually, Kinlio.
Starting off immediately. Hey, good call.
Always an option.
That means we're either going to see a stadium drop. We're going to see maybe an artifact.
PTA in response.
Ooh, okay.
So this does put Kinlio in an awkward spot, but the earthquake just saying nah.
The earthquake coming out really doesn't matter. Shurit probably just going to be swinging for damage, saying, I don't really need to spend the spirits right now. Kinlio, as we know, not limited to 1. So that is not the only baby boy that we're going to be seeing in this game, even maybe.
Yeah, maybe the next one we'll be able to get some spirits on and deal massive damage as well, because that always feels great with Kinlio. You just clear the threat and can just start pressuring that spirit deck.
And we did have 1 set from Shurit. And going to be passing back over to Julian, who's going to send out... Is that Lumaru?
That is Lumaru. He just slapped down that Lumaru. He said, I'm slapping down this Lumaru, so Lumaru can slap you.
A properly enchanted Lumaru. And I love watching Lumaru mills, unless it's me, because they're very often devastating. And a fire puppy coming out. Is that lunar enchanted?
That is fire enchanted. That's the Kickstarter by Pyro. Are we going... Oh, it's Zeus. I was like, I don't think we saw the stadium out of Shurit. That was Kahuna. But Zeus, that works just as well, arguably a bit better.
Yeah, and a second set from Shurit's side. And the disenchant from Zeus does come out. And Julian going to be answering that with an Argo. Yeah. Okay, so we are -3, which means that it's going to have to be Necklace of Harmonia in order to contest this Nekruff.
Yes, and the fun thing here about what just happened is Nekruff said, I don't like your mill, I'm going to threaten you with a burn instead, and that Argo just says, no, you're milling.
Oh man, unless we see an Argo flip from... Oh, it's a Gorgon's Gaze. Okay.
Probably Gorgon. Yeah, it happens in attack stuff. So yeah, you can just Gorgon's your own Nekruff to nullify the attack, which is what it seems like what Shurit did there. A super interesting play. I don't know. That's something that really differentiates the intermediate players from the advanced players, is understanding those sorts of interactions that you can get Gorgon's Gaze, your own Elestral, to stop the attack.
And that was an interaction that we just got to see. Meanwhile, we have a 10 attack Lumaru out here, joined by a Calfmel. It's really funny. This list now that we're seeing from Julian, it feels very different from what we were seeing just a couple rounds ago. But an Altar of the Stars coming out from Shurit, Nexusing off of that Zeus onto Nekruff and moving Lumaru into defense, which, yeah, 10 attack, don't blame you.
Will we see a mill 3 from the Lumaru first, or a burn 1 from the Nekruff? That is my question. Though by the looks of it, no set back row from Julian, so likely this Lumaru is about to go down thanks to the Nekruff, or whatever Shurit ends up casting for turn.
Well, if we see another Kinlio, there is that Fire Spirit under Nekruff. If Shurit doesn't care about the proper enchantment, Kinlio could be live right now.
That's an expend to draw, so just keeping the Nekruff on board. It's got 2 spirits, gets rid of that Lumaru. Notably, Shurit is up on spirits, and it's going to be even more up on spirits right now, but Julian probably not too worried, considering he's just got that little camel sitting there ready to heal 3.
Shurit going to have to deal with this Lumaru right now. Otherwise, yeah.
I think the burn one's going to win out in this war of burn versus mill.
I think you're right. We don't have any back row set from Julian, so Shurit is free to do this. But we also... Nope, just kidding. There's one from Shurit. Going to be able to hopefully defend in the coming turn.
That honestly probably feels like a pretty good exchange by Shurit overall. Just being able to stall out that Lumaru. The Necklace of Harmonia burns too, which essentially trades with the spirits used for the Gorgon's Gaze, and just kind of puts Julian on the bit of the back. But that Argo necklace play didn't quite work out. But thanks again to that Calf Mel, probably not the most work. Is that a Heliolith?
Oh, Julian. I'm sorry, did you pick up Bo's list when you two played a couple games ago? What is going on?
Though notably, no artifact on board. Oh, sorry, the bounce doesn't care about an artifact. It's just for that cast effect. So trying to bounce back that Necruff, likely, but gets met with a Gorgon's Gaze.
Yep. Which, you know, fair. Shurit has been very much valuing this puppy, which at a 5/5 stat, Heliolith could crash with, and that would be an equal exchange with the burn and the extra spirit of damage from Heliolith being enchanted with 2. But I don't know if that is a valuable play to make here.
I think if you're Shurit, you're trying to find a way to get that Necruff to hit over Heliolith, or find another Kinleo just to pop it. But also, sending off of Calf Mel feels so good. Julian just living in the heels.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be not crashing, and Astrabbit coming out in attack, which is scary. That means there is a plan.
Yeah. Even if it's just crashed Necruff, sure. Just get that Heliolith out of here. But we'll see. Maybe the Rabbit's hoping to find a little something to help that Necruff.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. I mean, we know both of them at this point are... Actually, do we know if Shurit's on artifacts? I don't think we've seen it this game, but I think we might have seen it in the early rounds.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We saw Argo shenanigans from Shurit on stream before, so we could this time.
Just an artifact in hand could help with the Heliolith. We'll see. And there we go.
That's exactly what is gonna happen, and it is a thunder, and it looked like lunar, but I keep seeing that purple keeps looking red and the red keeps looking purple, so we gotta make sure.
So we'll see. Gets dealing with that. Does have to burn 2 at the end of turn, which I don't know. If you know you're against a ton of heal, doesn't feel great, but sure, it might not fully know what Julian is on at this stage. It's a bit hard to kind of scope these sorts of things out as you're playing versus in a venue where you got friends to help you kind of scope out the competition. So I don't know how much they know of each other's deck.
Yeah, I mean, they're in similar testing circles, so they might know exactly what the other is on unless we've been keeping it secret.
That is also very, very true. Yeah. So we'll see from Julian what they want to do. 5 to 7 spirits, Shurit with a ton of pressure on board.
Oh, Lavalith coming down. Do you think it's going to be targeting that necklace, or do you think we're going for the
doesn't matter
of the stars? Moving that Lavalith into defense and re-enchanting the rabbit always feels incredible.
Phenomenal setup. Shurit now just having all the answers to kind of keep up on board. Just see, now I'm trying to rack my brain back to the Shurit versus Big Kahuna match during Swiss, because I think that was one where one of them was just struggling to find back row, and I think there was one point where it was Shurit.
It was Shurit was the one who had momentum the entire time, and Big Kahuna was very much struggling. So this is interesting to see, and I love to see plays like this, because it's like, a Lunar Thunder enchanted Necklace of Harmony. Shurit was 2 steps ahead of us that entire time. Really, really cool. Julian going to be using... Did that come off of the Lavalith to pay for the Ambrosia? No, okay. Didn't see if it did. So Lavalith going to be staying around, which seems fair. And healing back up.
Does Julian have back row to insulate that Lavalith? That's what you really need right now.
Otherwise, Necruff is hungry.
Hungry puppy out for revenge. Didn't see too much earlier, but...
Well, okay, so we see the payoff of the Astrabbit for the Ambrosia. And, we were talking earlier about, which of these 2 Elestrals is going to have its effect go off. Meanwhile, Necruff Burn has been going crazy this entire game.
It's been keeping the heal a little bit in check. Just the extra burn countering it. But there's actually been a lot of heal on Shurit's side as well. Those Ambrosias have been coming in clutch. And it's just crazy to think because we've seen these Spirit Tolls get low, but all this healing makes it so that really we're still in the mid game. We still got a good chunk of turns left before a victor is declared.
There's a lot of Elestrals left to be played, a lot of resources that we can still spend to do all kinds of crazy things, and I cannot wait to see what those are. The one set from Shurit, yeah, Puppy gonna be swinging over Lavalith, getting that burn effect, and Rabbit for 2 this is a big turn.
Oh yeah, Julian, I believe down to 5 now? 4. Oh dang, even
Woo.
lower. So I said there might be a lot of turns left, but I don't know. Shurit's ramping up a lot of damage soon, so it might just be Julian just saying, I don't know how anything to really deal with this, but maybe a Rabbit can help.
A Rabbit, yeah, okay. We do know that Shurit is on Zeus. We've seen 1 so far. That would certainly help get over this Rabbit, but yeah, Rabbit is one of those Elestrals that it's like, do something about it as soon as it hits the board.
Yeah, there's always Eddie, Kinleo, maybe another necklace in hand. There's options, just what does Shurit actually have in his grip?
And we see the 1 set from Julian, so finally some back row there. Whether that's the Arga?
Another Ambrosia!
No way!
I thought Julian was the heal deck.
I know, right? Thunder. I was thinking of
Thunder, fire.
And another fire. Okay.
Yep, makes sense. Dang, back up to 10 spirits. Absolutely crazy. Let's see what else gets played here. Thunder to re-enchant the Rabbit, probably digging for an out to this Ash Rabbit here. Even just a simple Cryoblast to soften up that 5 defense could do the trick.
Cryoblast, then still being able to burn with Necruff feels good. That's huge value. And Julian, again, is one of those casters who we've seen in these situations where it's like, is there anything that's left to be done here? And they every time say, yeah, actually. So I'm not counting them out at this point.
There's definitely some surprise amount of games where people come back from crazy spirit counts, just establish a board, stabilize, and can keep that stabilization going. But a calf mel.
A calf mel, okay. Yeah, that's something that could help get Julian some healing, get some more resources. A second set in the back row. Again, I'm saying don't count Julian out yet. This seems like Shurit's running away with it, but I don't know.
In a moment's notice, Julian could just be back up at like 6 spirits thanks to that calf melt. And notably, I think Julian's only played 1 Ambrosia to Shurit's 3, so Julian could still have quite a few Ambrosias up his sleeve to just flip the game back on its head yet again.
Oh, Ash Rabbit! My beloved! Going to those Ambrosia. Ambrosia. There we go. Okay.
Disgusting.
Yeah, Julian, pick one.
Disgusting.
That's gorgeous.
Off the Rabbit yet again.
This is biblical greed, honestly. I cannot believe what I am seeing. 4 Ambrosia activations in 1 game. And you know what? We could re-enchant the Rabbit and do it again.
That's what's crazy here is Julian needs to deal with this Ash Rabbit, or Shurit's just going to be back up at full and just say, I didn't play any cards. What do you mean? I'm still at... Well, you can only get max 17 spirits, but still, it's crazy.
Wow. I cannot believe what we're about to witness. The Ambrosia loop. Oh my god! No way! I wish we had face cams because I want to see Julian's face right now.
Yes.
As this is happening, this is incredible.
Sure, the insult to injury. You know Julian's supposed to be the heal deck, but you're saying, no, I'm good.
You know what? Ash Rabbit? Good card. Paying off of, did we get that off of the Ash Rabbit continuing to fund our lifestyle here?
But I did notice 2 Earth got looped back to Spirit deck.
Okay.
But I'm trying to... Did it Shurit? No, I think it was Julian who had played the...
Oh
Earth
my
paper.
god. And then the Gorgon's Gaze on the calf melt. I think this...
Ooh.
I think this might be game, but this is incredible.
This is... I think Shurter used the Earthquake, so...
Oh my god, the plop down of the Quackle that I have never seen such an aggressive Quackle cast in my life. Gonna be healing back the 3 Thunder. Oh my goodness. Hey, you know what? Heal is healing, okay?
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is a bit too much of a conspiracy theory, but since these 2 are in the same testing circle, what if Shurit was just like, you're going to be doing heal shenanigans, why don't I just throw an Ash Rabbit so I can try to do my own heal shenanigans?
Ooh, and we are going for an Eddie instead of a re-enchant of the cycle has been broken with an Edward. Going to be, is this a...
Gorgon's Gaze. Off of
Okay.
one spirit off of the Quackle. I mean, Quackle did what it needs to do.
Yeah, Quackle's done, and Ash Rabbit is still... It's got this wall. Now that we have all 4 Elestral slots full, it is slightly less scary unless Shurit wants to ascend an Eddie or something over one of these other Elestrals.
Yeah. And notably, can ascend Eddie into Eddie with any spirit. Doesn't need to be a water since the Eddie has one. Are we going to see that? Eddie into...
And...
Earth? Yeah, or use the Earthquake. Eddie!
Yep, that's it. Hey, you know what? Julian, can you do anything? I don't think so. Unless you have a defensive tsunami to use here. Which...
Then... By the way, I'm not trying to intentionally call these plays here. This is purely coincidental. Anything could have ascended from that Eddie with the water spirits. I believe they started last time, so yet again, just start us off. And it's like a set, potentially?
Yep. Expend to draw, set 1. Classic. Classic.
Yep. Not feeling too bad with all the heal you have in your deck. You don't necessarily need to be up on board as long as you've got the cards to help you compete with the board. So let's see what Shurit's got. Will Shurit just set expend to draw, or will Shurit actually start putting up some pressure?
And there is, okay, again, when we see a rabbit coming out in attack, there is a plan afoot.
Very much so. It's just going to zip across our stream, zip across, grab a card. Though it did look, got meant by a PTA, so it's not actually doing any damage. Still gets that card.
PTA loves to see Ash Rabbit coming. I know that's true.
But to be fair, it takes 2 spirits, so regardless, it's kind of like that Ash Rabbit still got in a spirit of damage. It just means you don't have it around anymore, which is usually the priority here. You don't want that rabbit getting any more value than it already is getting.
2 spirits to get rid of a rabbit, in my opinion, steal. We have seen rabbits stick around for entire games and win games as a result. And Elechick coming out, Shurit says, yep, go ahead. The most Gorgon's Gazeable card of all time. Not going to do it. And going to be grabbing, I think we know Julian is on Zeus. I don't think we've seen any other divine runes from them.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I don't believe we've seen much of an Earth, or really any Earth from Julian outside of maybe the spirits for an Earthquake.
Yep. Did we see Scythe? I think we saw Scythe and then paying off of Scythe to pay for the Earthquake also. But other than that, yeah.
Was it this match? I don't think it was this
it wasn't
match.
This match. It was a previous one. I think that it was attached to an Astrabbit that was in defense to up its defense stat. It's been a whole day of casting. I could be wrong, but I think I remember that happening.
Together.
Yep. And Shurit going to be taking 1 spirit of damage from that Elechick. And we are passing back over.
See what Shurit's got to contest that little bird. But once it's out of the way, not that it's that hard to deal with. But honestly, the Elechick did what it needed to. It grabbed that Zeus. Julian's feeling great. And that's one thing to do.
Let's see. The most Gorgon's Gazeable card of all time. Nope. Gonna be allowed to go and search out that Zeus also.
Julian raised his Elechick. Shurit raised his own. Another one got Gorgons. But On some level, though, that means the Gorgon's Gaze are still out there just preying on something else.
Yeah, calf mel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We know that both of these casters, unless they were sided out, which I don't think that's a possibility, they are both on calf mel. Okay, we're going to see some chick-on-chick violence going on here.
You phrase it like that. But yes, which one will be the superior Elechick?
Unfortunately, I think it's the one with the power of Zeus. Elechick, Champion of Zeus form incoming.
Yeah. So yeah, we got the disenchant.
Yeah.
And an attack declaration. Do we see a back row or nope? Just lets the Elechick go. Honestly, see, the thing is, you've seen from Julian from last game a lack of back row. So who knows what his hand looks like right now? Might want to be holding that back row for a more valuable exchange than just an Elechick that already has back.
Or because you have resting on your laurels, you don't care, and Elechick has already done his job, so you just let him go and then resting. Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks. So we'll see. Probably a heal body, like a calf mel or something from Julian, just to establish what is that movement. Oh, actually a Spectress.
Spectress. Okay. All right. And a second back row set. Hey, you were just saying didn't get to see too much back row. There's another. Love to see it.
And Spectress. Honestly, I feel like we haven't seen as much Spectress as I expected. But also, that's what I'm surprised I haven't seen. Galaxy and Spectress kind of face off. But I think we've been seeing such unique and diverse decks that I really haven't seen many Galaxy.
No, we did see the one Galaxy earlier that created, I believe it was like a 10-6 Oistillery, which was really cool. That was a fun interaction under Atlantis.
Yep.
And Kinleo coming out. Oh my goodness. Which means, are we going to see a Misenchanted Zeus? Yeah.
Spectress ain't suppressing anything right now.
Nope.
Just going to get destroyed. Kinley is going to hit him for that too. And Julian better
Gorgon's Gaze.
There we go. None for the bird, but that little Kinleo, not going to happen.
Unfortunately, though, Shurit does have these two back row set here. So I'm thinking Kinleo might be safe for another turn. Might live to pop another day.
We'll see. That Kinleo is definitely pining for blood. I don't know if we've seen a Kinleo. I know we haven't seen a Kinleo respond yet this match.
And immediately met by a Cryoblast. So, you know what? Never mind, Julian. I take that back. Go ahead.
Yep, Spectra's still sticking around, having to deal with that body. Though, I don't know if you've seen much from Shurit that really dies automatically to Spectress. A lot crashes due to Spectress being able to bump itself up to 5 attack. But with that Zeus on board, do you really care? You can just drop that Spectress down and run straight over it.
Very true. And this is an excellent time to make a PSA. Remember, folks, declare your Spectaris effect. Don't fall into the classic pitfall.
Yes, very important to declare your triggers to make sure everyone is on the same page. But so far, haven't seen any issues today with it. The casters we've seen have seemed to be very good at communicating their plays and following each other's plays for a smooth back and forth.
And we see two back row from both of our casters here. And there is that calf mel. We're talking about the most Gorgon's Gazeable Elestrals of all time. There's one of them, for sure.
Right next to Foamy. May they love to be a Gorgon's Gaze target. Probably need like a Gorgon's Gaze target anonymous group after this tournament. All these tournaments.
I think that would be good, a top 10 list. We should bring those back.
Let's see what Shurit ends up doing here.
Zeus goes away?
Assuming Shurit sunk one of these guys, probably the Spectress? And are just trying to figure out what to do, though, with no Elestrals on board. Just trying to get my bearings again on the match to see what is going on here.
Sinking it, but it will. Oh, that's why. We were trying to get the Lavalith online, and there he is. Gonna come out popping or chaining. Always, every time.
There's the second Gorgons. Got one left from Julian, though. Shurit still has all of theirs, so maybe we might see that calf mill get Gorgons eventually.
Hey, one can dream, genuinely. One can also dream of Lavalith popping something other than a Gorgon's Gaze that gets immediately chained to it.
That's the life of Lavalith. It's not that it's popping a back row and attacking in, it's that it pretty much forces a back row to be used on it and then tells the opponent, hey, deal with my 6th attack.
Mm-hmm. And I gotta say, really, really cool that we have seen so much Lavalith today. It's been a while, old friend. And yet, here he is, you know?
It really has. Of the lifts, I've been noticing decks opting more for the Arc lift because most of them are on Thunder anyway, while Lavalith has been more of a side deck card, but it's been coming back, and notably a Quackle hitting the board, just zipping back 3 Thunder Spirits right to the Spirit deck. Julian getting real healthy, saying, no, I'm the heal deck, and I'm going to prove it this round.
Yeah, this game is going a lot more in Julian's favor, and I'm sure that they are very much enjoying the way that this one is going in comparison to that game 1, seeing the back row, seeing the support cards that they need, and now going to be beating over a Lavalith unless we do have 3 set from Shurit.
Yeah, we'll see what Shurit can make happen. I mean, 3 back row, 3 Elestrals, but do you really want to use 3 back row on 3 Elestrals right now?
Well, that'd be a really, really good tsunami. Nope, shield.
True. Shield, not too bad. However, you still got that calf mill that can crash.
Yeah, and calf mill does love to crash.
Says, yeah, even if you Gorgon's Gaze, sure, you stopped me from healing, but I still got an additional 2 spirits out of you.
Unless there is something else afoot in this back row. Nope, a crash. Which means that once we take that 1 spirit of damage, it's going to be basically a +2 for Julian.
Yes. Julian just really doing what their deck wants to do here. Notably, ooh, cool. Instead of grabbing all solar, just grabbing back a lunar as well.
Okay. That is not something that we often see.
Not at all. So now, just down to the lone Quackle, but maybe this is the lone Quackle that could.
I love Quackle. I think that he can move mountains, really. And I mean, just looking at these spirit differentials here, he kind of has.
Oh, jeez. I had not even clocked the spirit differential. Yeah, I mean, there you go.
Shurit is playing a list that likes combos, and with only 3 spirits left, that doesn't leave a lot of room for combos. And I think we are going to scoop. That makes sense. Julian versus Shurit. This is the one that's going to determine who is going to be our finalist from this side of the bracket.
We'll be facing either Dimax or Bean Soldier, but it looks like, is that a... Nope, it's just an expend to draw on Shurit's side, set 1 and pass.
Classic.
Is that a... Yeah, that's a rabbit attack. It's flipped from last game. Last game it was Julian, expend, draw, set 1, pass. This time it's the reverse.
And there's always shenanigans afoot when we see a rabbit in attack. Beware! There may be an Argo coming.
Yeah, Rabbit was... Now with Argo, Rabbit's just taking names. Just saying, you thought I was weak in attack position? Think again.
Julian going to be setting 2 and passing. I wonder if we're going to see any Thunderstorm techs from either of these casters. I think there are multiple times where Thunderstorm would have been really good on both sides. A second expend to draw from Shurit.
Ooh, that's interesting. Why keep that hand if you're expending to draw?
I don't know. There may have been pieces in it that were just too good to pass up, but just not fully ready to get going. Julian says, I'm going to take full advantage of that and re-enchant my rabbit and just continue to get card advantage here.
Calling it right now. Sure, it's got Laurels, was just waiting to get that second spirit on board to Laurels and just swing this game back in their favor.
That would be a mind game that I am not ready to play.
I'm just thinking, what could be in the hand that you want to expend to draw? And Laurels is what comes to mind.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a card that, especially with a combo deck like Shurit, can be dead for most of the game because you always have things on board. And you're right, getting the value out of it early on to get rid of something like a rabbit. I don't know. But instead, it's going to be a Peppy.
That works too. Burn for one, kind of get caught up on these spirits. But we'll see. 2 back row on Julian's side. This Necrof might not be able to connect.
We will see. I do love that Necrof animation. That was like, actually, yeah, all the Widow Kisses. Thank you. Thank you so much. And it is a poison-tipped arrow, paying for it off of the Astrabbit. Julian says, listen, I might not live, but
you're not either.
Yep. I'm taking you down with me.
And by paying off of the rabbit, not having to pull another from Spirit Deck, keeping Julian at fairly high spirits. This is... I wonder if Julian, despite having quite a bit of time left in the round, might be playing for spirits to ensure the victory.
Yeah, I'm not sure. With 14 minutes, it's like, I don't know that we're quite there yet. But then again, I don't know. Against heal control, you never know how these games are going to go.
And we'll just have to wait and see. But here... spend for Necrof? Or that might be, yeah. Okay, so Necrof attacked over, took 1 from the Necrof effect, expended for PTA to get that out of there. And it is back on Julian to establish a body on board to continue setting the pace of this game.
And I am going to point out the spirit counts at this point in the game. Sure, it has, with those expend to draws, with all of that, has played a pretty expensive game so far, but 3 back row set. So they could be cooking. Quackle coming out, going to be healing 3. Julian almost up to the full 20, being back at 19 spirits. Or 18 after the pay for the Quackle? Yeah, 18. There we go.
Crazy to think. That's what Julian's been doing best. And, well, except in game 1 where sure it stole their thunder. But
listen,
just saying.
Julian and I, we don't talk about game 1. All right? My pal Julian, we don't talk about it. However, Shurit and I, we absolutely do talk about game 1 because that was incredible. Speaking of, this is seeming like a run back of game 1. Ambrosia coming out already, which, I mean, fair enough. We were at 13 spirits, so we got to start healing back up a little bit.
I think that was after an expend to draw, so no Elestral coming down on board this turn.
I would kill in times like this to see the hand. Like, what are we working with? What is the problem? What is bricking? What do we need? And what are we looking for? Julian says, I will take this opportunity to establish a very annoying problem for you, and that is a calf mill.
Again, the count just putting a ton of work. And is that a tsunami? Switch this to defense, give yourself some extra insulation to hopefully set up and try to counter pressure.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. I think that makes sense. Sure, hopefully we don't see... I don't want to see another... oh, no!
No, what is going on with this
another
hand?
expanded draw, not like this. This makes me think of in the finals round of Dallas, being able to hear the no from the crowd in the booth was incredible. I could hear it now.
Lumaru hitting the board, just switching everything to attack to pressure. The other rough thing for Shurit in this position here is Julian has 2 back row set, and as far as we've seen, those have always been live. So even if Shurit can just start establishing a good body to start pressuring these, most likely it's just running into back row.
Yeah, this is too much momentum that Julian is gaining. And I really wish that we could see that hand. It's like, should we have mulliganed Shurit? Was that a situation where we needed to mulligan? I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, I made the Laurel's call, but we haven't seen Laurel's, so that can't be it. I'm like, is there still something in that hand that we have not seen yet that made it a keep?
I don't know, but Necrof coming out, maybe properly enchanted. We've been here before with the Necrof Lumaru, whose effect is going to be going off first. Last time it was Necrof times 1,000,000, or however many burns we did get. I think it was approximately 1,000,000, though.
What I'm wondering here is, are we about to see a game of Argo Chicken between Necrof and Lumaru?
Ooh.
That would be interesting. Who wins out in the Argo War?
Julian. 100% if we have a double Argo crash, Julian is loving it. Because Julian is so ahead right now and then gets to mill, even if it's a burn for one. So we have a calf mill on board, you know?
Julian pretty much has all the spirits that they will ever want. I just want to see that Lumaru mill.
Yeah, Lumaru has been just one of the strongest. I call him my god killer. But that is a Zeus, so that means that if this becomes an Argo War, Shurit will surely win it.
I want to see it. Let's see a game of Argo Chicken. I'm just going to call it Argo Chicken. I think it sounds funny. One of these days.
Have it.
One of these days, it will be. Oh, actually, Argo Chicken could work with Elechick. It's not as likely. But let's see. So it looks like dropping probably most likely the Lumaru. I mean, there's no other reason to use the Zeus here. Probably just going to attack in with that Nekruff once that
another set. Okay. Yeah, Shurit seems pretty confident that there is not ever going to be a hurricane happening. Okay. Oh, swinging over the Quackle, actually.
So I guess the Zeus drop was just to assure that the Nekruff could connect with one of these guys, and then set up a position to where even if Lumaru tries to swing in, you can just Argo to try to secure a Nekruff on board.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm with you. If we're looking at a situation of Argo Chicken, what you absolutely want to do is Earthquake. Okay. Yeah. No, fair play. You always want an Earthquake.
Yeah. Oh, a Divine Blessing?
No way! A Divine Blessing to nullify the Earthquake! This is crazy! Are you kidding me?
I was not expecting. That was not on my bingo card for Top Cut to see Divine Blessing come out, much less not against Blizztrix.
That is incredible. Divine Blessing is a card that you can see it right there. When your opponent casts an Invoke rune, you can disenchant a spirit from your field and negate that rune. So that one of Earthquake, gone.
Oh, no more. And now, having to use the Zeus to try to hit over the Nekruff, are we going to see an Argo? But no, it's going down. And Mill, I can't see this well. I saw a rabbit.
I saw a rabbit. TTA. I didn't see the first. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But after the Divine Blessing too, that's got to be one of the coolest turns I've ever seen.
Even if Shurit can't pull this one out, most surprising play in top 4 has to go to that Divine Blessing.
It's got between that and the Ash Rabbit, Shurit, goated. Like this, Shurit has been putting on an insane clinic in this match, and oh man, I'm so hyped about it. Actually,
I want to know what that hand is so badly.
We are.
Just insult to injury, the Arcolith.
The Arcolith. Are we gonna see the healing from the calf mill? Yeah.
I wonder if Shirt just said, yeah, you definitely got it, so Julian's just thinking of the craziest play that they could make.
True. Julian's like, I'm going to finals. I'm flexing. Let's go. I'm gonna Ambrosia. I'm gonna Arcolith for $1 billion in 4.
Jeez.
That would have been a crazy shield.
Zeus, Divine Blessing. Oh, it's just all counter runes.
That Lava. Oh man, yeah. There's the Argo. Okay.
All counter runes, no gas.